Christmas, everybody. Welcome back to the Christmas Countdown Show.
Up top.
Season 3. We are back, everybody. This is episode number 3 of Season 3. 3 on 3 here. Like this, my name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy, Danny Jordan.
Hello.
We're going to be counting down some very fun things today.
Festively fun.
Festively fun.
Yes.
Today we are doing our top 10 Christmas movie characters.
Ooh.
So we did a supporting characters in the past, but this is any character is fair game, and we'll talk more about that when we get to the countdown.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm very excited about this one today, and I even wore like a Christmas, well, a not-so-Christmas character shirt today. You know, there's a hot debate, Eric, that goes on over a specific movie.
Oh, God.
That movie?
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Some people swear. They're like, this is a Christmas movie. Not a Christmas movie.
Not a Christmas movie.
So we created this merch.
And we also, just because we both feel that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Not a Christmas movie, no.
But we know that some of you out there do feel like it's a Christmas movie. So we do have an option that says Die Hard is a Christmas movie. And
equal opportunity.
Yes, absolutely.
Whatever you're into, we celebrate around here at Christmas Countdown. We love to do these little, like, you know, cute, sweet little messages on shirts. And a perfect example of that is on Eric's shirt here today as well.
I'm wearing some new merch. It says, "There's no business like snow business." And it's got this sort of like marquee lights. This is perfect for me as a theater guy. I love it. So, yeah. Check out. We got a bunch of new stuff in the merch store.
I love all this new merch that we have going. So if you want to check it all out, go to ChristmasCountdownShow.com. Check out all the merch. And while you're looking up our merch, go to our social media pages. Please are on Instagram and TikTok at Christmas Countdown Show. We are at Xmas Pod on the X.
Yes.
And full episodes, friends, are up on our YouTube page. Go to youtube.com/Countdown Network, and you can check out all the full episodes, not just from this season, but past seasons, plus our spinoff show, Disney Countdown, with the Magical Millennial and the Dapper Danielle. All their episodes are there, too. So tons of content for the people to be consuming out in the world, Eric.
It is. Danny, how was your weekend?
My weekend, oh, my gosh. So we pulled back the dad curtain here a little bit. So I said to Eric before we started recording today, I was like, I'm really stressed out about decorating my house for Christmas this year.
Yeah, why?
It never stresses me out.
Yeah, you love it.
It's therapeutic. I'm out there. I got the music blaring. I bring out like a speaker.
Sure.
Last year I had this like little JBL. Shout out to JBL, who doesn't sponsor, but if they want to, we'll take it. They have this little clip speaker that's round. You know, it's maybe
I have one of those. I put it on my Vespa.
Yeah.
Because my Vespa doesn't have a radio, but when I'm riding, I like to listen to music.
You throw it there. Yeah. Boom. Premium sound. Yeah. Love it. So I will hook it because it's got like a little carabiner on it. I'll hook it to the loop on, you know, where my belt goes. Yeah. So that way when I'm climbing on the roof, I always got Christmas tunes. I don't have to worry about the speaker falling off. Sure. Super cool. Again, not an ad for JBL. I'm hitting too many talking points here for them. But it's a super therapeutic experience for me. Well, yesterday, I noticed my wife will leave lists around the house of things she wants to do. Sure. And sometimes some of them feel like they may be for me. Right. And maybe the reason it's left around the house is
for
because I was supposed to find it. But I saw take down Halloween decorations. And I was like, well, that's a Danny thing. Sure. That's a Danny thing. So I got down the Halloween decorations last night, and we don't have a ton. We have a couple scarecrows and these little metal pumpkin lantern things you put little lights in. Super cute. And I put them out on the little porch in front of our house. Looks super cute. Well, we have a 2-year-old. Yeah. And she was so obsessed with taking every little item and throwing it into the grass, taking it back into the house, putting the pumpkin in, because I had these little fake pumpkins, and she kept putting them into the lanterns. She'd be like, where'd it go? And I was like, oh man, is this gonna be what Christmas is like?
I think everything's gonna have to be up. But if you got, because I know you have a lot of inflatables,
I have so many.
You may have to put you should get a mini caution tape and just make it just 2 feet in the air or a foot in the air and just kind of wrap it around your whole lawn. Yes. So that you say, Riley, I'm sorry, you can't, but the police said we can't go in there.
Yeah, she's 2.
She won't listen to that?
She will. You have not met 2-year-old version of Riley. She's a wrecking ball. She will literally lift up the caution tape, walk out. What I worry about is with the inflatables, you know how you have the little very skinny string that comes off of it?
Yeah. Oh,
that at night,
yes.
you can't see those. I've been prone to trip over those things. And I'm worried about her just sprinting around because at this point, Eric, I've got 9, 10 inflatables
Yeah.
that are sprinkled around my front yard.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do I do this year? Do you have
don't know.
any advice? Did you ever like navigate that with your kids when they were that young?
I do remember we used to have a snowman, like it was made sort of wire. It was like kind of a hollow wired snowman, but it was big. It was like 5 feet tall.
Okay.
And I do remember Sophie when she was little wanting to like poke at it and stuff, but we didn't have a ton of them.
Okay.
And so with Soph, we really would just be like, don't touch it. And it
Plus,
was just
you guys
one
were in
to
New
worry
York
about.
for most of the time they were
When
young,
she was real
right?
little, yeah.
And
yeah,
you're
because I
not-
guess we were in New York for Sophie when she was like 2 and 3, and then with Miles when he was 2 and 3. We were there.
So I should move to New York.
Yeah, that's what you
you're
got to do.
telling me.
Then
All
you
right,
don't have a yard.
babe. I know you're listening to this.
We're
Just so you
moving to
know,
New York.
I've got us a broker.
Yes.
We're getting an apartment in Midtown. I don't know how that's going to affect the rest of this season.
We'll do it. You can be on the.
I'll be on the screen
the
over
screen
here.
there, yeah.
No, we're not going to. I just got to figure it out. So anyone who's listening out there, if you've navigated having a lot of decorations in your front yard and a very curious 2-3-year-old who wants to get into everything, how did you
Is there
do
anything?
that?
Is there anything you could do to telling her, that Santa's watching and like he doesn't? This is the Christmas cheer, and we don't want Santa to like, see that we're messing with Christmas cheer that she would listen to, or no?
I don't think she gets like the naughty, nice
Right.
sort of thing. Like I was trying to have a conversation with her that was like reasoning with a human yesterday. But then as I'm talking, I said to her, I was like, I know you have no clue what I'm saying to you. You don't understand what I'm trying to say. Because this is another thing that happened yesterday. I was doing something in the kitchen and I look out into the living room and I see her standing on something round in the middle. And I was like, what is she standing on? It's a vinyl record.
Oh, jeez.
And I was like, where did you get this from? Because I'm looking at my stack of vinyl. They're all sealed.
Right.
I realized she opened the record player,
Oh,
the
wow.
turntable, had pulled it off and was standing on my Amos Lee record, just sucking on her thumb, watching Peppa Pig. And I was like, we don't
That's
do
amazing.
these things.
That's amazing.
So when you say like reason with her, like
Sure.
Santa's watching, she'll probably be like, Santa, yay.
Great,
yeah.
Have I ever told you my theory on 2-year-olds? You know how people
No.
say the terrible twos? So think about this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. And
Yeah.
so with 2-year-olds, and people always say, the terrible twos, and they're so crazy, and they yell, and they scream, and everything. Think about if all of a sudden I dropped you into a German family, and you don't speak a lick of German,
Right.
and you lived there for 2 years, 2 full years with this family, and you never really picked up on German.
Right.
You maybe got a word or two, but you don't speak German.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to say like, hey, can you pass the salt? Like something very simple. And wouldn't you get frustrated easily
Yeah.
if you were living with people and they couldn't understand you and you're like, I've been here for 2 years. Pick up what I'm saying for a change, right?
Yeah.
And so then you see the sort of rage that could develop, and then you see why 2-year-olds can have these big temper tantrums because they're like,
Yeah.
why don't you understand me? I've been around you for a long time.
Yeah.
So when you think about it through their eyes, it makes a little more sense.
It's a great point. I just don't get what she's communicating with
Sure.
taking a vinyl record off of a player and standing on
Looks
it.
like a stage.
It does look like a stage. And, in her defense, we did get this gift for her birthday recently that are these like round disc things that you can like stack, but you're supposed to like walk across them
Right,
to like
right.
work on balance and
Yeah.
stuff. So it does look very similar. Now, how she knew, she's not even tall enough to see
see the record
inside
up
the
there.
record player.
Wow.
So I'm literally pacing around. I was like, how'd you get to this? And I was like, oh, you opened the record player, picked this up and said, this looks like something fun to stand on. So I said to my wife, I was like, I need a couple minutes. And I just walked to the back of the house and caught my breath. We never had to deal with this with Emerson.
Yeah.
You could put her alone on the playmat for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. Never an issue.
Yeah.
So that's why as we get ready for this holiday season, I'm having to look at it in a totally different way.
Do you have to do the same thing with your Christmas tree that you can't put ornaments like at a low level?
Never had
'Cause
to
you-
deal with it before.
Because
but
like there's people who put like cat Christmas trees where they
Right.
only have ornaments from like the mid-level up.
Right.
Because anything lower than that, cats are gonna like knock down.
you know what I need? You know how they have those like Christmas tree collars? Have you
What do you
seen
mean?
those are like the metal things
Yeah,
that
yeah,
go
yeah.
so around like a skirt? They have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
collar. I need one that's about 3 feet tall.
Right.
So like she can't climb up it.
Yes.
It's like slick on the outside, so if she tries to, she
put
just
some
goes
oil on it just
sliding
in
back.
case.
It's like an obstacle on like Double Dare. That's what I want to turn my Christmas tree
Oh my
into
gosh, that's so
this
good.
holiday season. So I'll keep you posted.
Yes.
As you know, in the coming weeks, because I like to start decorating
Yeah.
early, so that's coming very, very soon, and
Yeah.
hopefully, fingers crossed, everything survives.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be.
And if it doesn't, I'll bring photos and videos to
Yes.
show you, and we'll post on the Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. We'll say, look what Riley did.
Oh my goodness! Oh, Eric, it's gonna be fun.
Should we do a review? Because I think
Let's
we got
do
a
it.
review.
Yeah, we got
You
a new
told me
review
we
that
got a
came
review.
in.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
I'm going to read it for us here.
Something we love to do here on the show. If you're a new listener or you're a longtime listener, we like to share the reviews that people will post on our Apple podcast page. So if you're listening on Apple right now, just scroll down, tap on those 5 golden stars. You can leave a review, or if you're listening on Spotify or iHeart or wherever you like to listen to your podcasts, you can send us a DM at Christmas Countdown Show on Instagram, or email us kringle@christmascountdownshow.com, and you could have your review read in 183 countries around the world.
This is true. I'm laughing already.
Are you
Because
reading
you know
it?
how, well, I'm reading the name.
Okay.
The screen name. So the first line of the review says, "Hi, my name is Jude."
Yes.
But Jude's screen name is, let's see if I can pronounce it. It's GYHGHHHHFUUUGRHRUUR.
Do you think Jude now here, let's pull back the curtain. So Jude has left a review before.
Yes.
But never left their name.
Yes.
It was always Gehergen Fergernen.
Yeah.
And I like to imagine that Jude maybe is all narcoleptic and passed out when they were making their
Fell
username
onto the keyboard.
and they woke up and were like, all right, whatever.
I
Just
guess
hit
that's my
enter.
screen name now. Yeah.
But I guess after all these years of us calling Jude Gehergen Fergernen, Jude decided I should probably let them know my real
what
name.
my name is. I love it. All right. So the title is "No Words Can Describe How Great This Show Is," and Jude left us 5 golden stars.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. He says, "Hi, my name is Jude from Fort Worth, Texas. I love how much love and joy these two guys bring to everyone who listens to this podcast. Before I started listening to this show, I thought no one could love Christmas more than I did. Little did I know that there were these two guys." So one day I'm just looking for a Christmas podcast in October of 2021. By the way, my family thought I was crazy for looking for one at that time of the year. And I scroll upon the Christmas Countdown Show. The cover looked so inviting. And so I thought, why not? And I've been hooked ever since. And every year I plan to put my tree up on July 5th. Whoops, sorry. I scrolled away from it. Whenever I listen to this show, it doesn't matter how bad of a day I have or anything, I turn on this podcast and I am automatically happy.
Aw.
Keep doing what y'all are doing. It's great. And if you stop, I'll probably cry. And of course, 5 golden stars.
Yeah.
P.S. I pronounce it onion.
Yeah. That's
You're
the
wrong.
best part of the review.
Jude, you're wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
That's amazing. Oh, Jude.
It's clearly
Jude.
spelled OIGGNON.
Oh my gosh. If you have no idea what Eric is talking about, or what Jude is talking about right now, go back and listen. I think it was season 1. It was our top 10 foods.
I think so, yeah.
Countdown. And we
Yeah.
were talking about,
Did we talk about French onion
green
soup?
bean casserole.
Oh, green bean casserole,
And
yeah.
you're like, and they sprinkled a little
The green onions.
onions. And I said, wait a second, can we go back a second? And I said, how do you pronounce onion? And Eric said,
Onion. With
and
a
it
G.
became one of our most iconic
Yes.
moments, next to the Michael Bublé moment
Yes.
that happened season 1.
Yes.
So if you're new, go back,
Check
get
those
caught
out.
up, go
Yeah.
back to season 1. There's so many iconic moments. I don't know why I went with
I
that.
liked that.
It just in my heart, I
Very
wanted
French.
to say it. Yeah, you were talking about French onion soup.
Sure.
You just
I
led me down that road, and
Yeah.
that's about the only French thing.
Did I
could
tell
say.
you that I took French in high school and why I took it?
No.
So in high school, you had to take a foreign language, and I took French because I loved the movie Little Mermaid, and I loved the French chef.
Yes.
And so the first day of French class in high school, freshman year, they taught us, bonjour, je m'appelle, my name is, and then say your name.
Yeah.
So we went around the room, and everybody's like, bonjour, je m'appelle Jennifer, bonjour, je m'appelle Steven, whatever.
Yeah.
And then once it got to me, I was like, bonjour, je m'appelle Eric. And I did this big laugh, and the whole class class laughed really hard, and the teacher kind of rolled her eyes like, okay, very funny, very funny. And then I was like, yes, got him. And then I realized I was in French class for the next 2 years, all for that one joke. And then I had to take French for 2 years. And
have you retained any of it?
Barely, literally barely any.
Did they say onion? And
they do. They say onion.
Oh, so it's just like it just got ingrained into your
but
brain.
I said that well before French class
because of that chef that
the Creole chef.
The Creole chef.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that moment. It always makes me smile. And I love that people will always reverence it. Like we had somebody sent or posted, I think, on the private Facebook group recently, a picture of, I don't know what that device was.
I can tell you. It was like I'm going to pull it up here.
Steamer?
Almost, like a crock pot kind of thing almost.
It looks ceramic.
Yes.
And it looked like something that I think maybe goes in your microwave. I'm not 100% sure.
It was. Okay, I have
Can
it right
you find
here.
it?
Yep, it's right here. It's like got a ceramic bottom and then like almost a glass top.
Yeah.
And it looks like it is a French item. And it's Joey MSC. And it says Garde Oignon. And it is a Permet de voir les frontières.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Conserve les restaurants de onion franc. Oh, it like keeps the odors of an onion. So you would put an onion in there if it was chopped up, and then you didn't want the onion odors to get out. That's what I'm guessing, because it has odors at the end there. And I'm thinking, but regardless, it's spelled Oignon.
I know.
There it is, folks. It's right
you
there.
Reading that reminded me of when Peter McCallister in Home Alone 1.
Yeah.
He's like on the phone. He's like trying to like speak French.
Yeah.
He's like, Ongela. Like, that's what it reminded me
very
of.
bad French.
Which is great considering that we're talking about Christmas characters today.
There you go.
But before we get to that countdown, speaking of that Facebook group where that person posted that, we do have a private Facebook group for all of you Christmas lovers around the world. And if you want to join that, all you have to do is go to patreon.com, look up Christmas Countdown Show, or there's a link in the episode notes. Not only are you going to get tons of bonus content, I think there's like 10 bonus episodes already waiting for you on the Patreon. But you'll also get to be a part of this private Facebook group.
Very active Facebook group.
Super active. We'll do like live events with those people. We like to send out a little welcome merch packet to everyone who signs up. So if you're looking for some extra festive cheer, some goodies this holiday season, that's a good way to do that. If you sign up at the highest level, you even get a discount for all this merch we're talking about here today, which is pretty sweet. So next up, Eric, this is a very exciting week.
It is. We should say, well, let's pull back the curtain a little bit. I don't know if this is where you're going with this.
Okay.
But today,
yes,
is October 16th.
It is.
As we're recording this.
It is.
Which is the day that season 3 is dropping.
It is.
So it's is this where you were going with this, sort
of?
It
wasn't, but I'm going to hop on that train, baby, and let's ride it. Yeah.
I love it. But it's a very exciting day for us here because season 3 is dropping. So hopefully you've already listened to episode 1. But if you're somehow jumping in at episode 3, welcome. Go back to episode 1. Go listen to all the seasons before. But we're very excited because now it's back out in the public.
Yes. I have to confess something.
Yes.
Sometimes I will say things on this show like, this is an exciting week.
Yeah.
As like a transition point.
Sure.
But I don't really know where I'm going with it.
Ooh, isn't that the worst?
Isn't it?
I did a press for, I was doing hair in Michigan at the Barn Theater. And me and this guy, another actor named Eric Parker, we went to go do like the morning show where, they do a little segment and we're talking about come see hair at the Barn Theater from, whatever, June to July. And they asked me what the show was about. And I'm usually pretty good in press. I'm good with the talking points. I know what to do. For some reason, I got into that place that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And they were like, so tell us what hair's about. And I was like, well, it's about, there was a war, right? And then the war, people didn't like, because there was a lot of, here's the thing. There's a lot of songs because the 60s were a time, you just have to realize that, and I just like could not grasp a thought.
You kept starting a thought?
Yes.
But you didn't know where to go
I didn't know where to go with them.
Yes.
And I just was like floundering. And I remember like as I'm saying this, slowly turning to the guy, Eric, the other Eric sitting next to me, who's a little bit older than me.
Yes.
And like being like, help me. And he just looked at me like, good luck, brother.
He's
Good
like,
luck.
here's your paddle.
Yeah.
Keep on rowing. Yeah, it's the White Room.
The White Room, absolutely.
As they call it. It's only happened to me, like, really going to the White Room once in my life. And you're probably much more familiar with it, doing so much stage. Is that I got asked to fill in for one night of Full Monty at a local community theater. Yeah. So I had, like, one rehearsal, and it was about an hour and a half before the show.
A near impossible ask.
Yes. But it was like one of those roles where like you have like a role, but then you're playing like 7 other bit parts throughout. So you got all these costume changes and you got to enter left and stage right and all these things. I was playing Buddy Keno Walsh, who's like the real dancer guy in the show. And so at the end of the show, like the guys finally put on their big performance, but Buddy shows up to cheer him on. I'm literally standing there with the script off stage, like trying to go, and so I go running out on stage, and my mind goes completely blank, and I have the first line in the scene. So I'm looking at everyone. I go, "Big night tonight, huh?" Looking around like somebody help me, and they're all like, looking at me, and I was like, "Woo!" So much excitement in the room, huh? And then finally one of the guys looks at me and goes, he has no idea where he's at in this script. So he skips ahead like 8 lines. And I was like, thank
all right, let's get it
God
going.
for you. It's a wild place to go. But all that to say, sometimes I will do that on this show. And it's funny because like we edit this show.
Sure.
So like
you could take a break. And,
I could look at you and go, Eric, I actually have no idea what to say right now. But instead, we just like to be real.
We treat it live. Yeah,
we like to treat it like it's live. Yeah. But where I'm going with this excitement is that something very cool has started with Hallmark Channel. Not just Countdown to Christmas, which is thrilling. 31 brand new holiday movies leading us all the way up until Christmas, which I'm so excited about. Brand new movies every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. But what I'm really thrilled about is they're doing this thing called Very Merry Giveaway.
Yes.
Which just started on Friday the 20th. So for those who are listening to this on drop day, you can get in right at the beginning.
Yes.
And this runs all the way through Christmas Day. You can enter for a chance to win a holiday tour of London and Paris, plus daily Very Merry prizes. They're doing over 60 days of prizes.
Amazing.
Total. What do you remember what the grand prize is? It's pretty incredible.
So the grand prize is that it's going to be a trip to London and Paris during the holidays of 2024.
That's incredible.
Which I don't know the rules. Are we allowed to enter? Because I want to go to London and Paris.
I want to go so badly because you just went to England for the first time.
I loved it so much. Did I talk about it on the show? I don't remember.
Maybe I think it was maybe during our bonus episode you were talking about the new jacket.
Yes,
yeah.
But I did go to London for the first time with my wife and just adored it immensely. And I could picture it at Christmas time, thinking like, oh my gosh, this is already magical.
Right.
But if you put some twinkly lights up and a little bit of snow on the ground and a chill in the air.
Oh, Oxford and Regent Street, when they are decked out for the holidays, it is unreal.
All those like little alleyways, because they can do all the lights just sort of like going between them and stuff. It's really
so cool. Stunning. And I mean, Paris is the city of lights.
That's right. Never been
there. You've never been to Paris?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I sent my wife and my daughter there for a long weekend. But
what a great dad.
Yeah. That was Sophie's like Christmas present when she was like 11, I think.
Oh my gosh.
10 or 11. And so we found this like crazy deal on like Air France. And so they flew to France for like 3 days. They stayed at a little hotel right by the Eiffel Tower. They like stayed up late with like their robes, sitting on the balcony, watching the Eiffel Tower light up and drinking tea and eating croissants.
Oh my gosh.
And then the other thing that I did, this is a great tip. If you ever are doing a trip, or if you're like a father-son trip or mother-daughter trip, whatever, I hired a photographer to do a photo session with them in front of the Eiffel Tower. So I just looked up photographers that were in Paris, found one and said, hey, my wife and daughter are going to be there. Can I just book like an hour session? And they got these amazing pictures all like right in front of the Eiffel Tower. It was amazing. So
that sounds
if you're ever doing
incredible.
a trip, it's not a bad idea to like schedule a photo session, because there's so many freelance photographers out there that would love the work, and you can get some great memories that way.
Well, somebody is going to win.
Yes.
In this Very Merry giveaway. And here's the thing. It's not just the grand prize. Like we were saying, you have 60 days worth of prizes. They're going to include Hallmark Channel products, partner prizing from, the various brands that Hallmark Channel works with. There's just going to be so many merry gifts. So you're going to want to go to hallmarkchannel.com. I'm sure if you even just go into Google and look up Very Merry giveaway Hallmark Channel, it'll take you directly to it. We'll post a link in the episode notes as well, because it is a season of giving. And here's the thing. Who doesn't love winning stuff?
Especially when it's free. So much. When do we get?
Yeah, and if you're the one who wins the London and Paris package, you're going to get to go with the holiday season. And now Eric's giving you all these tips for things you can do. Now, imagine pictures walking down Regent Street or Oxford with the Christmas lights twinkling overhead, or standing in front of the Eiffel Tower with a Christmas sweater on, and you didn't even have to pay for the trip.
Amazing.
That sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
So let's give it up for Hallmark Channel for doing something like this. We applaud ourselves when we give away magnets.
Right.
They're giving away
trips plus 60 days of prizes.
Oh my gosh, they're incredible. Yeah, we love what they are doing so much. We need to find out if we can enter.
Because I know, if on a radio station, they'll be if you're a family member of somebody that works on the radio station, you can't enter. But we don't work for Hallmark.
That's true.
We work with Hallmark.
We collaborate with them.
We collaborate with them. So we need to actually.
Can you imagine we won?
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
But could you imagine what people would think? They'd be like,
these guys won, of course.
Random winners are Eric and Danny. How funny.
When we did the Shrek tour, when we were in Chicago for the long part of the beginning of that tour, we were there for 2 months because we did tech, and then we had the little run there. And I remember at one of our company meetings, the company manager was like, all right, guys, we have this building, but there's only 2 of the suites. So we're going to do just a raffle to see who gets access to the suites. Everybody else will have regular rooms, which are great, but the suites, there's only 2, so we'll do a raffle. And they put them all in there or whatever. And then they're like, Eric and Haven, who it was me and then the girl playing Fiona. And everybody was like, this is ridiculous. I don't think this is fair.
They're dump out the rest of the bag. They're like,
nothing in there.
Eric, another Haven. Well, that worked out really, really well.
It was funny.
But yeah, what an awesome opportunity that Hallmark Channel is presenting. So get over to hallmarkchannel.com. Check out the Very Merry giveaway. Enter every single day, because I think you can enter every day leading up to Christmas Day. Yeah. And who knows, maybe you'll win multiple prizes.
Yeah. And if you win something, let us know.
Send it to us. We'll give you our P.O. box. If you're looking for a +1 for your trip to London or Paris.
If you win something that you don't really want, you can just send it over to us.
We'll take it. We'll show it on the show. And while you're at it, make sure you check out Hallmark Channel's Countdown to Christmas with brand new movies every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 new movies coming this weekend, which I'm super excited about. Loved the kickoff this last weekend with checking it twice.
Checking it twice was great.
I've watched it twice already. I checked it out. Twice and really, really enjoyed it. And I feel like I really want to practice my ice skating now, so I can be a little bit more like Scotty Briggs. Yeah.
Well, we did a little bit of ice skating. People would have seen our little reel at this point, so we can talk about it.
That's true. We did just put up a new reel on our Instagram. Speaking of Hallmark Channel, we collaborated with them. Eric and I talked about our top 3 quintessential
moments.
And so we don't want to spoil too much, but go to our Instagram, check that out, or go to Hallmark's Instagram because it's there as well to check out. So next up, Eric, I bought you a gift.
What? This early?
Why not?
Gosh, now I feel bad. I don't have anything for you today.
I'm in the season because this Very Merry giveaway. I'm just like, well, if Hallmark Channel is giving stuff away, I want to start giving stuff away too. So this is something that I've seen before.
Okay.
But for some reason, I've never pulled the trigger. And I think mostly because by the time I get to this venue to purchase it, they are sold out.
Okay.
But I happened to be at this venue on the day they came out.
Okay.
And that venue.
I have no idea what
you have no idea. I'm being very vague
this
right
is good.
now. I think this is something you're really going to like. This feels like an Eric thing.
All right.
I don't have it wrapped.
That's all right.
So close your eyes. All right. Here it comes.
My eyes are closed.
All right. Put out your hands.
All right. My hands are out.
All right. Here we go. I'm going to put it in your hands.
Okay.
What do you think it is before you open your eyes? What do you think?
It's a box.
It is a box.
It's a box.
Yes.
And it's skinny. So I'm going to guess ornament.
Okay.
All right. I'm opening my eyes.
All right. Open your eyes.
All right. Here we go. Let's see here. The White House Historical Association Christmas Ornament 2023.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. This is the official White House Christmas ornament.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, my God.
Look at that thing.
And it is beautiful.
Right?
Okay, that's one of the prettiest ornaments I've ever seen, and I'm not exaggerating. That is awesome. It is the shape of a wreath,
Yes,
but it is very multi-layered, and it has, classic sort of like gingerbread men and ornaments and doves and stars and little toy soldiers. Do I see a toy soldier? No, I saw a gingerbread man.
Yeah.
But it says Christmas 2023, the White House, and it comes in this very snazzy box.
Isn't it awesome?
Now, where did you buy this? Did you go to D.C.?
Yeah, I was like, you know what?
like,
I'm just
when
going to
were
hop
you
a plane
there?
to D.C. to the White House and go pick up an ornament. No, I was at the post office.
Oh.
So the post office sells these White House Historical Association ornaments, and they do a brand new design every single year, and it's registered. If you open up the top of the box, look at on the back side of the top of the box.
Yep, I saw that.
You can go to whitehousehistory.org and you can register your ornament specifically. Now, how many of these do they make? I don't know. But I feel like I've heard of people like who are really into collecting these, and they sell them like right up on like the counter when you go to like, you wait in that really long line and then you get up there. They had these out and the display was full, and I said, are these new? She goes, yeah, they just came out. And I said, do they sell fast? She goes, yeah, if you want one, you should buy it today. So I bought one for you, and I bought one for me, and I love flip over. Did you see the back of the ornament?
Yeah.
It's got like, I don't know what this, like Troop 15. There's a dog on there. There's a 48. There's just a lot of cool old like logos, which I feel are like nods to previous, presidential,
You know what I'm guessing?
individuals. Yeah.
It says, because this one came with a whole thing about Gerald Ford.
Oh.
And so I'm guessing that 48, Gerald Ford played football at Michigan.
Oh.
So I'm guessing his
So this
number
is a
was
nod
48.
to Gerald Ford?
Maybe he was in Troop 15.
Okay.
He was the president during the bicentennial.
Yes.
He must have had a dog. And then it has a little image of the USS Gerald R. Ford.
You know what this gives me the opportunity to do?
What's that?
Is my first mediocre impression of the season.
Do you have a Gerald Ford impression?
It is not Gerald Ford. Do you remember when Dana Carvey would do, was it Tom Brokaw?
Yeah.
On SNL?
Yeah.
And he would always go, Gerald Ford dead today.
That is pretty good.
Or Gerald Ford attacked by wolves.
That is pretty good, Danny. You've had some questionable.
That one was,
that
you
one
like
was
that
good.
one?
I like that was good.
It's the one he goes, dead today. Like Gerald Ford dead today. That's my Dana Carvey doing.
That's pretty good.
Tom Brokaw.
We have some friends who bought the Gerald R. Ford estate in Palm Springs, and they refurbished it, and it was actually just in the Wall Street Journal. They were talking about how these two guys are big architectural restorers.
Okay.
Our friends Bill and John. And yeah, they bought the house from the Ford family. So it was literally built for Gerald Ford and Betty Ford. So there's like little enclave on the house for Secret Service because and they have like little weird phone lines that go to different stuff.
That's incredible.
And so they, but it had only been owned by the Fords, and then they bought it and restored it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful property.
I have one question about it.
Yes.
Was it build Ford tough?
Yes. That was good. Very good, Danny.
I even blew it because I said build. I didn't even say built.
Built.
Was it build?
I got what you're saying.
I was so excited for it that I didn't even think about the words I was saying. Oh, goodness.
Hilarious.
All right. Shall we get to the countdown? Does it feel like, oh, wait, we have
Let's
a game.
do a game.
Yeah, we had a
Chris
game.
has a
Chris
game
has got a
for
game
us.
for us. Hey, Chris.
Chris Sisley, live from Brooklyn.
Can we give it up for Chris's shirt real quick?
What does it say?
I think it's like a
Duncan's Toy Chest.
and Central Park Pigeon Lady.
Do you want me to show you?
Yeah.
Yes, show it. Show it off.
It's some old Christmas time in the city merch that we made a few years
Dude,
ago.
that
Nice.
is awesome.
I don't know how high up I need to get.
Yes.
Duncan's Toy Chest and Central Park and Rockefeller Center and the Plaza Hotel and Uncle Rob's house. Very
Yes.
good. Little Home Alone 2 reference there. I love that.
Lost in New York,
cool.
baby.
I am currently lost in New York as well, at least mentally. But yeah, we have a game. We're going to be playing a game today. And so here's the thing with these games, because I play games with a lot of different countdown podcasts and stuff like Disney and theater we did. And we have these fun names for these games. And I figured we would try to do a name for this one as well. And I think I already know what it's going to have to be, unfortunately. So it's not really much of a discussion. So for this is going to be the backwards movie line game, essentially. Okay. And so starting with theater countdown, we started calling this type of game Yardorb, which is Broadway backwards. And then for a Disney countdown, we started calling it, what did we call it, Danny? It was Denson? Jensen, which is Disney backwards.
Sure.
And so I have a feeling that this game is going to have to be called Sam Skirt.
Christmas backwards? Yeah.
Sam Skirt.
That's pretty good.
Sam
with a silent T, I'm assuming, like the General Tso's chicken, I guess. But
Sam Cirque.
Whatever. Samt Cirque.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
Like Sam Cirque du Soleil, absolutely.
I love it.
So we're gonna be playing a backwards movie line game. Essentially, the way it works is I went ahead and found a bunch of popular Christmas movies and found some really fun lines from those movies. I guess it's not just movies. There are some like TV specials and stuff in there as well. But yeah, just basically the bunch of cool lines from different Christmas content. And I'm going to be playing them in reverse, and it'll be it'll be your job to go ahead and tell me what the movie is, but you have to say the words in the reverse order. Unless it's a one-word title, in which case you would just maybe try to say it backwards if you can.
Sure, okay.
Now, we know that the music version of this I'm
pro
pretty good at, but I'm wondering if that's going to transfer over to words.
We'll see. Your brain can think that way faster than mine. So let's see.
Usually think about the end of our episode first, and then I work my way backwards.
Then this makes sense.
This makes perfect sense.
All right, well, let's hear it, Chris.
Let's hear it, Chris.
Now, should we do it one at a time, or should you guys just want to scream out or raise your hand and when?
Jingle, jingle.
Yeah,
you got some jingle bells over there,
sure.
And I'll tap my mug. How about that?
Sure.
All right. Here's my ding ding.
And that's mine.
And that's
all right. Here we go.
Jingle.
Here we go. Here's the first one. What do you think?
It is Street 34th on Miracle.
Street 34th on Miracle is correct.
You're a very good Santa Claus.
Yes.
That's the girl who's in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes. I was like, I was trying to pick apart the kid's voice. And part of me was like, it kind of sounds like Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah.
But is it Ralphie? Nicely done. Nicely done.
All right.
Here's the next one.
It's Elf.
What's the line, though? Can you tell what line it is?
Smiling's my favorite.
Oh! That was good,
wow.
Dude. Very good.
Woo!
All right, 1-1.
So moving on. Here's the next one.
No, I got it. It's Vacation Christmas Lampoon's National.
That is correct.
Save the neck for me, Clark.
Oh, it was Cousin Eddie.
Yeah.
Oh, nicely done. These are short lines.
Yeah.
But they're iconic nonetheless.
Yes.
Christmas Brown Charlie. A.
Christmas Brown Charlie A is correct.
Charlie Brown, you're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a...
Oh,
this one's fun because it's like you're trying to pick whose voice that is and like put a face with the voice. Yeah, this one's fun.
Here's another one.
Grinch the.
There's more to it.
What?
Do you want to try it again just to fill it out a little bit?
Think about who wrote it.
Oh, Dr. Seuss, Doctor? Seuss's Doctor?
I think you're going on the wrong path there.
Oh, no.
Who wrote it? Think about the story and what he did in that story.
The Grinch Who Stole Christmas?
Yes.
Is that what it is? Christmas stole who Grinch? The.
I'm going to give it to you. That sounded probably right, but I'll give it to you.
Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's
What's the official title?
grew 3
What's the official title?
It's Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Right?
I just have it as How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but I mean, I guess you can add on who wrote it, I suppose. Sure.
All right. Well, we knew that.
You nailed it, though. You're up.
Yeah.
You're up 3-2.
Sweet.
But who's keeping score?
Next one.
Who's keeping score?
Whoa.
I'll play it again. That was a fast one.
I mean, I feel like I just want to take a guess. Is it going to be Life Wonderful It's?
That is incorrect.
Dang it.
Play it one more time.
Sound like an old man.
I don't know.
I'll play the right answer then. Here we go.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Oh!
Christmas Story.
Oh, that was yours.
That was good.
That was a good one.
I really couldn't place that.
I was like, it just sounds like an old man, so that's why I was like, I'll just go with. What's ironic is that I thought it sounded like an old man, yet I didn't go with a movie that features the old man.
Yeah. True.
Ironique.
He's going with ironic, people. It's new and it's here to stay.
Isn't it ironique?
Moving on. Here we go.
Oh, jeez, that's really funny.
Will I play it again?
What? One? No. Can you do it one more time, please?
Absolutely.
One?
So it would be forward. It would be like Juan.
Juan.
What's Juan backwards?
Nuage.
Now.
Now. Oh.
Something now.
I wanted. It doesn't sound like Uncle Frank, but I'm thinking of the line where he's like, "Look what you did, you little jerk." But that's not it.
Yeah.
Because there's no sound in there.
One more time, Chris.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One. Is it like an obscure Christmas movie?
Do you know what it is, John?
I kind of feel like I'm hearing Hans, and we just talked about whether that.
It's closer than you think, honestly. You're not hearing Hans, but you're hearing maybe his cousin.
Hans? Wait, from. It kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger too, doesn't it?
It sure does. So let's connect it.
Oh, dang it!
Way the jingle. Way the all jingle.
Here, I'll play it again so you can hear it front ways.
Put that cookie down now.
Now, you were right. You're like, sounds like now.
Oh my God.
I mean, we should have known what the word.
Yeah.
Now.
Put the cookie down. Oh my God.
That's really funny.
That was
good.
We have just like 3 more. We can push 3 of these, I think. Here we go.
Oh, I got it. Claus, Santa the.
Yeah.
That would be correct.
Name, Kris Kringle. Name, Santa Claus. Name, Père Noël. Babo Natali. Père Nicole. Papa Gijo.
Which we uncovered was like a mouse, right? That was on the Ed Sullivan show. Is that who Topo Gigio was? He was like some Italian mouse, right?
Yeah. I don't remember.
I don't know. Is that right? Does anyone know? Anyone want to fact? That is true.
Chris
okay.
says yes.
I was going to ask John to fact check me.
Yes.
Really big show. Really big show.
All right, here we go.
All right, 2 more.
Here we go.
Oh, I got it.
Sounds very Russian.
Alone home. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Wow.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Play it backwards one more time, though. That sounded like legit Russian.
I mean,
that like legitimately sounds like actual Russian speaking.
What's funny is if you watch Home Alone in Russia, that's probably what it sounds like in that moment. Yeah.
All right, one more.
Last one.
It's like Merry Christmas, you old savings alone. It's
That was good.
I say that all the time now because of you.
It's so good.
Whenever I go to the bank,
Sure.
I wish
Merry Christmas, you old
building and loan.
Oh,
But I call it savings and loan because I had a bank account as a kid at Home Savings and Loan.
There you go.
Do you remember that bank?
Nope.
Yeah.
Didn't have that in Chicago.
Yeah, I think they were bought out.
Yeah.
By
That was a good game, Chris.
That was a great game.
Very, very good.
Make some noise for Chris
We'll
Sisley
do more of that.
out
Very
in
good.
Brooklyn. I love the games. If you have
yeah.
a suggestion for a game that we could play here on Christmas Countdown, we would love to hear it. Again, you can DM us on Instagram at Christmas Countdown Show or email us. All that info is down in the episode notes. We love including your guys' thoughts, your voices, your reviews on the show. So please hit us up on Instagram and via email at Kringle at ChristmasCountdownShow.com, and you could have your game played here on the show.
Very cool. I think it's countdown time, Chris. Let's do it. Love it. Okay, so as we said at the top of the show, we are doing top 10 Christmas movie characters.
Yes.
Now, here's a little caveat. Danny and I did do supporting characters in the past, and we challenged ourselves to not use any of those characters.
That's true.
So I will say that if I did my actual list, I would have some of those characters would be on this list.
So you pulled them all
I
off?
pulled them all off.
Oh.
I only used...
Okay.
You said I couldn't use...
But then we were texting last night, and
I said
your response,
encouraged.
Encouraged. So I led that. I was led to believe that meant that maybe you were going to have some of yours on there, and so maybe I could keep mine on. But I can remove the one that's the repeat.
All right, sure.
I can do that.
All right, great.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna start at number 10 with me. And my number 10 is a great character.
Okay.
Great character. I think that this character is a quintessential mom. And it's going to be from one of my favorite Christmas movies. It's from The Family Stone, and that's Sybil Stone, played by the one and only Diane Keaton.
Good choice.
In Family Stone. I just feel, I quote lines from her a lot. I love whenever I see a picture of like Lisa pregnant, I always like say to my kids, I'll be like, that's you in there, kiddo, which is like from the end of the movie, you know?
Yeah.
And I just think that she has such a strong sense of family and motherly sort of protection of her family. She's obviously going through a lot in the film, but her sense of like wanting everybody to be there and to be together, and it doesn't matter if it's messy or if things go correctly or whatever. She just wants her whole family, all her kids, to be back under one roof. And I just feel that so deeply and so much that when I get older, that I'm going to want my kids and their families to be under our roof, you know, come Christmas time. So yeah, my number 10 is going to be Sybil Stone from The Family Stone, played by Diane Keaton.
So good. I'm so glad you introduced that movie
so good
to me. You know, you talked about that season 1, and I didn't watch it season 1. And then last year, I was like, you know what, I'm going to pay the $2.99 or whatever it was to rent it, and I immediately fell in love with that film. So if anyone out there hasn't seen Family Stone yet, maybe you don't think of it as a Christmas film.
It's totally
it definitely is a Christmas film, and it just hits.
Yeah.
On all the feels.
Emotional.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's intense at moments. Great film.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to shift my list around a little bit here. So can I tell you who I did have in there that I'm going to take off now?
Sure.
Cousin Eddie.
Sure.
From Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
I mean, he's just so good. Randy Quaid crushes it. All right, so reslotting. So I'm going to move up to number 10 now. The conductor from Polar Express.
That's a good one.
Is it really good?
Yes, it's very good.
Very, very good. Okay. Then I'll just say a little bit about him. Just in case somebody else wants to talk about it. But, I love that Tom Hanks plays all these different characters in the story of Polar Express. But the conductor, what I love about him is that it feels like he knows so much that we don't. Mm-hmm. I feel like he has got his finger on the pulse of this like ultimate mission.
Yeah.
That, even though all of the kids are included, it really feels like it's about our the main protagonist. Yeah. And all the ways that he sort of guides him, like, you getting on?
Yep.
Like it's just like, it feels like he was brought into this kid's life to really be sort of the one who tests, like, are you going to make this decision and take this path forward, this track, as it were, or are you going to stay where you are and continue to doubt? And the way that he challenges him, but also allows the kid to make his own decisions. And I just, there's that incredible line that I want to call out, where he says, seeing is believing, but sometimes the most real things in the world are the things we can't see.
Yep.
I just think it's such a a beautiful line to me. It encapsulates the spirit of Christmas, right? Like, you know, the spirit of Christmas most of the time is something that you can't see. It's something that you feel. It's something that I think connects us to our own personal past, present, and future, but it's something that connects us to everybody's past, present, and future. And, you know, I think life can be so hard sometimes, you know, and we've all lived through difficult things, but having faith in the fact that like it is all going to work out, even though maybe you can't see it right now because you're so clouded by all the crap that's going on in your life, is that there is a brighter day ahead. And keep the faith and surround yourself with people that are going to encourage you on that journey. I think he's a brilliant character. He has so many beautiful moments in the film, so that's why I got him at number 10, the conductor from Polar Express.
Very good choice. You may be hearing more about him later. Do you know what he does that is so great? Is he is like a really good teacher or a really good director.
Yes.
In that he makes the kid feel like it's their decision, even though he's clearly shepherding them towards a decision.
Right.
The kid has to make the decision. And like the best teachers make you realize what the answer is without saying it to you. They know how to get you there. They lead you to water, you know, but when you have the ownership of like, I made this decision or I figured this out, you just own it so much more. So
it's beautiful.
Great character.
Agreed.
My number 9 is a fun one. I don't have too much to say about this one. I just enjoy her. So it's from Love Actually, and there's so many great characters.
So many.
I honestly went back and forth. For a minute, I was going to choose Colin, I think that's his name, who's like the British guy who goes to America. And
he goes to Wisconsin.
He goes to Wisconsin and meets like all these hot girls, and his British accent just woos them.
Yes.
He's a great character. Obviously, Bill Nighy is an amazing character as Billy Mack.
Yes.
The manager is a great character. Hugh Grant is a great character, but I went with the character of Natalie, who's played by Martine McCutcheon. Martine McCutcheon, and she's the one who is like Hugh Grant's sort of like girlfriend. She's his secretary,
right? And
then he kind of falls in love with her, and then there's that like super awkward moment where the president of the United States, played by Billy Bob Thornton, like kind of hits on her, and he sort of steps in and is like, "What are you doing?" And I just love their whole relationship, and it's so British. Just the way that they're like so sort of self-effacing and awkward and don't know quite what to say, and he's sort of awkward and she's kind of awkward but swears in front of him and stuff. It just is, it's so adorable and lovely, and it has that kind of like innocence of Christmas love, you know, where it's like a new love that's happening. There's so many different types of love in that movie, but that first sort of just flirtatious kind of like, man, I fancy this person and they fancy me, you know?
Yes.
So that's why I picked Natalie, the secretary.
Oh, she's so good.
From Love Actually.
I love that little moment where like she's like she's in the office and she's like talking to some of the other staff members and you can't hear what she's saying, but she just does that thing where she goes like it just sort of like, I just spit it out of my mouth after she's just had that weird interaction with him in his office, and just the look she gives is so cute.
Honest,
so well done, and love following their arc as well. So great selection. I wanted to put some Love Actually people on my list, but I think they might be in my 11 through 15.
All right. That happens.
It happens. All right. So next up for me is going to be a character that we so often, we use this as a term to describe someone who doesn't like Christmas, who's like anti-Christmas.
Sure.
Scrooge.
Yeah.
But Scrooge has such an incredible
Do you have a particular Scrooge that you're choosing?
I mean,
you don't have to, but
I mean, if you were going to ask me to pick one,
yeah,
I think you know which one I would go with.
I don't.
I'm Michael Caine.
I forgot.
Yes, it would have to be Michael Caine.
Muppets, yes.
In Muppet Christmas Carol. I mean, I just, you know, you so often think of like Scrooge as like this negative character, as like a villain, in the story. But like Scrooge has been through some stuff, and you know, we've all been through some stuff in our life. You know, we have heartache. We, you know, think that like this is the way you have to go through life to like succeed or to get by or to be able to provide for people, and you get so far down this road that you don't realize like how far you've gone down that road, you know. But then Scrooge realizes the errors of his ways, and in the end becomes like the most Christmassy person you could ever imagine. And I love that, this idea that no matter maybe how far gone we think somebody could possibly be, that there is still the opportunity for redemption inside someone, that really what is at the heart of all humanity is goodness, is community, is love, is compassion. And I think if someone who is as like jaded to the world as Scrooge is can still have Christmas spirit in their heart, then what does that say for all of us?
I'd love to see what Scrooge's business, if once he got a softer heart, if business went up, because I'd like to think that it did.
I would imagine
that
so.
Bob Cratchit was a happier worker, was able to crank out more stuff.
Yes.
And once you start to like take care of the people around you and not hoard all of the money,
right.
I'm sorry, 1%, we're coming for you. But if you just like, divvy it out, everybody's happier and everybody will make more money.
Everyone wants to work harder and show up. I firmly believe that when you do things from a heart of love, that you're going to bear more fruit. Like, you may see some fruits of your labor by being stingy and counting every dime and looking out for yourself. But I think when you restrict yourself in that way, you restrict the ability to expand, right? It's whether it's money, whether it's your heart, your mind, whatever it is. And I think, I think you're right. I would love to see a follow-up to the story of Scrooge, is like what ended up happening after he
Scrooge 2.
Scrooge 2. Let's do it. And how's that not happened yet?
You'd think that, because it really does feel like the jumping off point of a story.
Right.
It feels like an origin story. So let's see what actually happens.
Well, if there are any director, writer, producers out there,
if
they can write, The Grinch 2,
you
can write Scrooge 2.
Absolutely.
We just want a small 1%.
A little cut.
Just a little morsel. That's all we want. But anyway, number 9 is going to be Ebenezer Scrooge for me.
I like it. That is a strong choice. I love it. I think if I had to choose a Scrooge, I might go with Scrooge McDuck. Because I love the Disney Christmas Carol.
So good.
And it's kind of funny that he was Scrooge McDuck, but then stayed Scrooge like all through DuckTales and all that stuff. Which is kind of cool. Okay, so my number 8, is that what I'm on? Number 8.
Yep.
Is I'm sort of choosing a twofer, but I'll really choose one.
Okay.
And that's going to be the character of Santa in Miracle on 34th Street. So you have the 1947 version, and then you have the 1993 version. The 93 version had Richard Attenborough as Santa, and he was great.
So good.
Very good. But if you look at that original Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, Santa is played by Edmund Gwenn.
Edmund Gwenn, that's right.
Gwenn.
Yes.
But he's just the best Santa. He's short, which I kind of love. Like he feels like a jolly old elf. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't feel like a large man. I think sometimes we think of Santa as like this big, I'm Santa, ho, ho, ho. But I like that he's like a small, just a larger elf than the rest of the elves. You know what I mean? And he's got such a dense beard, and he has that kind of like just total twinkle in his eye, which is like really what you're looking for. I feel like he looks like the Santa that's on like the old Coca-Cola ads and stuff like that. You have that classic scene where the kid like pulls on his beard and he's like, no, it's real. I also like that Santa in that movie gets a little, a little intense at times. Like when he tries to, deal with some bad guys and he has to hit somebody with a cane, that happens.
Yeah.
But I love both of those movies. They're both so good. But if I had to choose one, I'd go with the Edmund Gwenn version of Santa from Miracle on 34th Street.
Are there any color pictures of Edmund Gwenn?
Well, there's a color version, I think.
Did they like?
They colorized it, yeah.
Because it's always so wild to me, like with black and white. Like the I Love Lucy show or whatever it is, that we think of it as like black and white.
So old, yeah.
But like every single person who was in that room
lived it in color,
saw it in this vibrant color, just like we're seeing it here today, which is so cool.
Did you know that when they did black and white, that sometimes they would wear, I think it was red, because it would make, when they wanted it to look black, they would wear red because somehow with the camera, the way that it took in light. Do you know, John? Help me out here.
Yeah, and red appears darker in black and white.
Right.
So they'll use a red filter on the front of the lens to make the sky darker.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
That's really, really cool.
So we think of him as wearing like in the Honeymooners wearing like a black jacket as it comes from work, but it might have been like a red jacket because then it looked
wild.
Dark. Yeah.
It would be really cool if someone did like a photo series of like iconic black and white photos with like a color version of it.
Yeah, yeah.
To be like, whoa, I always thought maybe that person was wearing a brown suit or whatever, and they're wearing red. It's just so shocking because in your mind you think it's one thing.
Yeah.
Great selection. I don't know if I've ever seen that version of the film, by the way.
The original?
Yeah.
Oh, Danny,
I know. I gotta get on it.
It's great. It's so lovely. And Natalie Wood plays the little girl.
Right.
So I mean, like young Natalie Wood, who would go on to do, Maria and West Side Story,
and Gypsy, right?
Rebel Without a Cause.
Yeah. I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on my list,
good.
and then I will report back in a future episode. All right. So number 8 for me is gonna be Cindy Lou Who from The Grinch, and specifically, I'm gonna go with Cindy Lou Who from the live action version with Jim Carrey. Yes. Yeah. So that was played by Taylor Momsen, who many people know went on to be in Spy Kids 2 and Gossip Girl. And I just discovered when doing some research about Taylor Momsen that she is actually the lead singer of a band called The Pretty Reckless, who have released 4 albums. They are the first female-fronted group to have 5 #1 Billboard singles.
Whoa.
Isn't that wild?
I want to hear something by that. I'm going to pull it up right now.
Make sure you don't pick any of the ones with the explicit
Sure.
lyrics in it. But what I love about Cindy Lou Who, this goes back to what we were just talking about Scrooge, right? Is like, if you don't give up on somebody, when you show your faith in somebody, when you show love to that person, I think it makes them tap into a different part of who they are. And everyone in town in Whoville is like anti-Grinch. Grinch is the worst person that ever was, but Cindy Lou Who's like, I think he's kind of sweet, And I think it's Cindy Lou Who that softens the Grinch's heart.
Yeah.
And how powerful that a town full of people could have like talked negatively about this person and poked fun at this person for all these years, ever since the Grinch was a child, but that just one act of love and encouragement can negate all of that negativity, and especially for a child to do it, to go and face what so many people says is like a monster, and just show up and smile and giggle around him and laugh. She changes the trajectory, not just of the Grinch, but the whole town of Whoville. And let's just give it up for how cute that song is when she sings "Where Are You Christmas?" Yeah, slightly out of tune at some points, but like, you're fine with it.
Sure.
Because
she's so adorable.
She's just so darn adorable. I love the strength of Cindy Lou Who. I love her faith in the fact that there's goodness in everybody. I think it's something that we all could take on in our lives as, we walk around and we're fed that like this person is a horrible person or those people are bad people or whatever it might be. It's like, maybe those people just need to have someone smile at them. Yeah. Maybe those people just need to have someone say like, I think you're great. Yep. How would that impact them? And I think that's something that we all can learn from Cindy Lou Who. So that's why I got her at number 8.
I love it. Great selection. You know what it reminded me of? Did you see this whole story with Trey Turner and the Phillies this season in baseball?
I don't know. I know Trey Turner, and I'm really upset that he's not a Dodger anymore.
Yes.
But yeah.
So there's this baseball player named Trey Turner who played for the Dodgers for a little bit. Now he's with the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah. And they gave him a huge contract, bunch of money, bunch of years. And once he got to Philly, he just started stinking it up. Yeah. And just like could not hit. And this guy was supposed to be really good. And he was great for
perennial
the Dodgers,
all-star,
right?
One of the best hitters in baseball, yeah.
And just like could not hit. And so the Philly fans, who are, tough fans, had been letting him hear it. And they'd been booing him when he was, striking out and all this stuff. And it went on for about half of the season of this past baseball season. And then randomly one day, one fan who must have had enough followers that it caught on said, and I can't do a good Philly accent, but he's like, you know what we got to do? We got to get Trey Turner like feeling better. So how about today we don't boo him? Let's give him a standing ovation. Let's just see what happens. And so it got into the radio, and then the news picked it up. And so this one random game, like on a Wednesday afternoon or whatever, everybody, when Trey Turner came up to bat, even though he was batting, 125 or something, like terrible. Right. Stood up and cheered super loud for him. And we're like, we love you, Trey. We love you. Go get it. First pitch, home run.
Oh, my gosh.
And then his whole career, the whole season took off from that point.
Yeah.
And it's so cool about like what you're saying, that like sometimes just a little bit of positive encouragement, especially in light of a lot of negativity, can turn somebody around so much. And I thought that was such a cool baseball story. And it sort of reminded me of...
He doesn't want to be bad.
No.
He wants to earn that money, and he wants you guys to be celebrating. And I mean, like... sports players, professional sports players are entertainers.
Yeah.
They want to bring joy. They love playing the game, but they love the roar of the crowd and knowing that like they brought some joy into, at least for me, like when I played sports, like knowing like getting a hit made my teammates happy or like my mom happy or whatever brought me joy as well. They don't want to be making $200 million and
doing
sucking.
nothing. Yeah.
Like, no, they want to do great out
Yeah.
there. And I think that's, great parallel.
I love it.
Dropped my phone.
All right, my number 7. This is a character that is near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
That's Ralphie Parker from Christmas Story.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. I looked just like Ralphie when I was a kid. I had the glasses and everything. I was about that same age when that movie started becoming very popular, played by, obviously, the great Peter Billingsley, who's gone on to have a very interesting like producing career. He works with Vince Vaughn's producing company, and they do a bunch of movies. They did Elf and everything.
Right. And they have a Christmas podcast.
They have a Christmas podcast as well. But the character of Ralphie, I'm sure it's because everybody said I looked like him when I was a kid that I was like, yeah, he's like me. But I just felt so similar to him in that like I wasn't popular, but I had a little group of friends and we were just always trying to just figure out our way through life.
Right.
And when he's like trying to do good in school, doesn't always do great, but is trying. And like he just has such good intentions throughout the whole thing. And he truly captures what it is to be a little boy, and there's different stages of a male's life, but that stage of, like 6 to 13, when you're just a little boy.
Yeah.
And like, you just want to like run around with your buddies and knock stuff over and like figure out life. And, you're not obsessed with girls yet. You're just kind of going through life with your friends. And I just really felt like he captures that sense of boyhood,
Yeah.
And I obviously love that movie, and I'm very excited. If you didn't hear last week, I'm going to be playing the old man in the musical version of Christmas Story, and it's cool to sort of view Ralphie now through the lens of the dad, and what does that mean to me, and how would I, I'm sort of working all that out now as I'm, developing the character, but yeah.
Can we dive into that as the season goes on, as
Yeah.
you like get into the, because you're starting rehearsals in a couple weeks here.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be fun, knowing that you connected with Ralphie so much as a kid that now you're playing the old man, because you've never played that role before, right? So it'll be fun to hear like what you're sort of uncovering throughout the process.
It's also interesting because that character throughout the movie is not necessarily like Mr. Christmas.
Right.
He's actually kind of grumpy and a little, hard to nail down. He kind of is living on his own, line.
Yeah.
But then at the end, when you see Christmas morning that he does really care and he gets him the rifle, like that's when he sort of like brings it home. But it is interesting because I've played obviously characters that love Christmas before.
Right.
But playing somebody who's sort of indifferent to Christmas through most of the show is going to be a little bit of a challenge.
Oh yeah. And I love in the Christmas Story movie that came out last year, how they sort of like brought it full circle and you see how much Ralphie really loved his father and like trying to write
so much
that,
to him,
obituary for him, which just, if you haven't watched sort of the, what would you call it? What was it called? Christmas Story Christmas or something like that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
If you haven't watched that, go look it up because
So good.
it's beautiful and it really made me, I think, appreciate A Christmas Story in a whole new way. So make sure you check that out this holiday season. All right, so number 7 for me is going to be, it's got to be Scott Calvin.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's so good. Tim Allen was sort of like one of the dads of our generation. We had like Bob Saget on Full House, and then we had like Tim Allen,
Uncle Phil on
you had
Fresh
Uncle
Prince,
Phil, and then you had Family Matters.
Carl Winslow.
He was just, those were like the dads
Yeah.
that we grew up with. And Tim Allen on Home Improvement, I think, was one of those. So like him becoming Santa Claus
makes sense.
Just felt natural for a lot of us. And I love, again, I feel like what I'm finding in my list is like there's a lot of through lines of this person who's like living their life one specific way, like clearly Scott cares about his son.
Yeah.
He loves Charlie so much, but he's a single dad and he's got a high stress job. And sometimes, on the surface, it can look like, I think that parents maybe are prioritizing their work over their children. And I don't know, for our listeners out there, if you're a parent and work is a big part of your life, I want to talk to you right now because I struggle with that a lot. I go, am I spending too much time at the office? I think even like producer Chris posted something on his Instagram recently, like, you know, the only people who will remember how late you were at work were your children.
Yeah.
And so I struggle with that because like I want to be there for my children physically, mentally, emotionally, but I also know that like this world can be unpredictable at times, and I want to provide stability for my family. And in the way the world is sort of like built is like,
you got to work to do that.
You got to work to do that, you know? And so, you know, I think Scott is one of those people who's like torn because he wants to provide, but he also wants to be a dad, but then there's this new family and he doesn't know where he fits into that dynamic. And Neil's just so like, oh shucks, like always has all the right answers. And so I love that they handpick Scott Calvin, you know, because they know who he is in his heart and that he will be the perfect Santa. And so it's not just about, I don't think the story is just about him becoming Santa Claus and becoming the best Santa. I think it's about him becoming the best Scott.
Yeah.
And through him remembering what matters most to him, he then shows up better as a father. He shows up better as like a co-parent sort of situation. So I just love, not just in Santa Claus 1, but all the way through the 3 movies and now the series as you see like he's discovered who he is, you know, and sometimes that takes time for us to unlock who we really are. And so I love that journey. And plus he's hysterical. Like one of my favorite lines in the movie is when he's sort of getting into that first night and he's flying through the sleigh and he shouts out, he goes, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And when I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan." Like I think it's just such a hysterical moment, and it's so Tim Allen. So I love it. And I just think he's perfect as Santa Claus. So that's my number 7.
Love it. Good choice. My number 6, last one of this countdown.
Yes.
Because we'll do the second half in the next episode.
Yep.
Is going to be The Conductor from Polar Express, which Danny had talked about. I love that movie. We've talked about that movie a lot in the past. If you've never seen Polar Express, because some people have not seen it, because when it came out, the animation was in its early stages of like CGI kind of animation, and some people thought it looked creepy, and that like, you know, Tom Hanks' character looks creepy, and that's sort of the common criticism that you'll hear of that film.
Right.
If you can just get past that and look at the spirit of what the film is, it's so lovely. And if you have ever read the book, did you read the book ever? We had the book growing up.
Such
and
a
what's
beautiful
so
book.
amazing is that the beautiful illustrations from the book really do get brought to life in the film.
Right.
And this character that Tom Hanks plays, where he's playing Santa Claus and also the conductor and also the train driver, and like he just does all, and the dad, you know, the hobo, all those things. It's so great. But that character of the conductor, like we were saying, the way that he has that all-knowing sort of reserved, I'm going to let you make the decision and you figure out what this whole trip is about. He doesn't spell it out for the kid. It's just so like old school. Like he feels like Mr. Feeney on Boy Meets World or something, where it's like
comparison,
you know, where it's like he knows the answer and he's not in a rush to tell you, and he's not rushing you to figure it out. He's letting you figure whatever that truth is out for yourself in the course of time that is right for you. But he's leading you down the path, you know?
Yep.
So obviously huge Tom Hanks fan. Amazing. He just did such a great job in that film. So my number 6 is The Conductor from Polar Express.
Tom Hanks is incredible.
Golly.
Do you ever just like think about Tom Hanks's career?
Yeah.
And just go, wait, you were the conductor here. You were Woody.
Well, think about it. Go from the beginning. You got to go with Tom Hanks. You got to go from the beginning. He starts his career with Bosom Buddies, where he's
great point.
doing a sitcom dressed as a woman, like to live in a sorority house, right?
Right.
So silly and madcap and over the top, and then he does Splash. It's still kind of a weird movie, but they're like, oh, maybe this guy can do movies. Then he starts doing like Big, and then you're like, oh, he's a movie star. Then he has that like run of basically like Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, Saving Private Ryan, like all 3 in a row.
Right.
Like 3 of the greatest movies ever. And he then after that point, he was like, that he is our number 1 movie star.
Yeah.
He's so great.
And he just seems so kind and
So
accessible,
likable
but also feels like he has that quiet strength.
Yeah.
As well. Like, did you ever see that video of like where the photographers were like getting too close to his wife or something like that, walking through New York? And it was just like, you know, sometimes that's what strength can look like, you know, is that, you know, I think he was like, you're too close to my wife. And he just sort of like, you talked about like with Santa Claus being like, sometimes the cane's got to back people up a little bit. And I feel like that's who Tom Hanks is in real life. So great selection. Love it. All right. Before I reveal my number 6, if you guys are not doing so already, please make sure that you subscribe to the show wherever you are listening, Apple, Spotify, all the places. Smash that subscribe button, as we like to say. Rate and review. Leaving those ratings and reviews ensures that more people find our show and we grow this Christmas loving community. We've got 9 weeks until Christmas. So let's keep growing that community. Let's keep building that momentum. And if you're not doing so, please make sure you follow us on social media at Christmas Countdown Show on Instagram, TikTok, Threads. You can follow us at XmasPod on the X, and you can watch this video and so many others on our YouTube page. All the links are in the episode notes. Let's get to my number 6, shall we? All right, this is a character that I think I just discovered last holiday season, and that's Claus.
Yeah, I thought you might put this on there. Yeah,
he's just so darn good.
Yeah.
Again, it's like I was looking at his name as I knew, we were getting to number 6. And I was like, well, I feel like this is a very similar story. Again, this person who is incredibly misunderstood, that lives up in this forest. And as we learn, as the movie goes on, goes through this incredible heartbreak. I don't want to spoil it, for anyone who might watch this, but he's just this person that nobody knows in town until Jesper comes along, who's the new mail person, and he's trying to just deliver as many letters as he can to get out of here. That's his mission. He's like, I just got to deliver letters to get out of here. And his motives are a little questionable, but the journey that they go on together and that moment, oh man, it makes my heart so happy when they deliver that toy, the jumping frog, to the first kid. And Claus is just standing there in the window watching the reaction of the child getting the joy out of playing with that toy, and then how that just like reignites as we find out this fire inside of him to create toys and to do it for no other reason than bringing joy to give. And I think when we truly give, not to get anything in return, just to bring joy to others, it then gives back to us, and it's the most like pure exchange of energy I think that we can have as human beings, is when you give for giving's sake and you give to bring joy to somebody else and peace to somebody else. And I love that journey of Claus. I love his evolution as a character, and I also just love his acceptance of the way that things are. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but the end of the movie is so beautiful. I'll get choked up thinking about it. Like what he does at the end of that film is just such a beautiful moment, because you learn what matters to him most, and the sacrifice that he makes to be with the person he loves most is just, it's so selfless. And I think he's just such a selfless person, and it's something I aspire to be, as who Claus is in that movie. So if you have not watched Claus yet, do yourself a favor, just look for it. It's out there available on the streaming platforms for you to check it out. It's a beautiful film. It'll make your heart happy. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll feel inspired, as I am every single time I watched the film. And
it's a good one.
That's my number 6.
I love it. All right, folks, that's going to wrap it up for this half of the countdown. So make sure you come back on Friday, or if you're listening to this at a later time. Thursday, you're right, Thursday. If you're listening to this later, just go to the next episode. Next episode. Here we go. And we will do 5 through 1 of top Christmas movie characters. But as Danny said, we're 9 weeks away from Christmas.
That's wild.
Which is crazy. So start doing your shopping. Start getting those lists ready to go. And we will see you on the next one. But we're going to close it out how we always do, by saying Merry Christmas.
And Happy Holidays.
We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.
See ya.